Hi, welcome to JJ's Productions. We've got another Stoke City Vlogcast. With me as always is Jan. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thanks. Hope you're all okay, folks.
We won a game!
Wow. And what a game.
Can we have a bit of a fanfare, get the marching band out? I'm not sure when the next one's coming. I want to celebrate it.
Sorry, you're making me choke.
But yeah.
Thought it was a brilliant game.
I'm glad we were there to watch it. I mean, if anything, I don't think Nottingham Forest offered much. I want to just put that out there to begin with. I don't think,
They made us look good.
Yeah, I do think there was a bit of that, unfortunately. I don't take pride in saying that because I've got nothing against Forest. But, I thought they could have done better. I think it was sort of summed up in the second half, right, when they made their first sub and they brought on that Diego Goncalves, or however you say his surname.
Carvalho.
I thought it was... Well, anyway, they made a sub in the second half. We do our research, I promise you. And the Forest fans in the away end, they were chanting his name. It was like a real big chant, as if to say, come on, this is the sub we wanted. I don't think I saw him touch the ball.
No.
I'm not completely dissing them. I'm just saying, I think it sort of summed up their performance, that even when the fans got what they wanted second half, not a lot happened, so... Yeah.
Saying that, talking about fans, I can't understand all this about Bojan.
I mean, I've avoided Twitter for the past couple of days because I thought, you can say what you like and then someone will always argue with you, so I've just got a bit fed up of it. But what I did just see when I've been getting rid of notifications is people, as you say, talking about it, and I think... Yeah, I know there are a few fans who like Bojan and that's what the booing was about, but anyone would think it was the old stadium. All I heard was like a small corner.
I mean, I really like Bojan, and
Yeah.
I was excited that he was starting, but he didn't do much. And
No.
I beg a belief to talk to anybody who thinks that he did, because he didn't. And at one point, Ryan Shawcross went to him and he ticked him off for going out of position too many times by the looks of it. And he pointed and made him go back to his position.
I mean, personally, I found we actually built the team a bit around Bojan the other day. It was as if we'd said, because Bo was up front, or in the front three essentially, we said to Martin Zindi, right, when we go for a goal kick, you go as far forward as you dare go, and we're going to aim the ball at you. Because it always felt like Bruno was trying to hold a high line, or high width. He wasn't sort of sitting back and playing cautiously as a makeshift left back. He was really pushing high, and I thought, it's as if we're trying to just give Bojan that room to go inside and create things. And when Bojan came off for McLean, it's as if Martin Zindi eased up a little bit and he withdrew a little bit, which wasn't a bad thing at that time, but it definitely felt like Martin Zindi's positioning when Bojan was on the pitch was due to where Bojan plays.
I mean, I did notice as well that Bojan was jumping out of tackles. Instead of going in and trying to win the ball, he stepped back and didn't. Now, when James McLean come on, I mean, he was just like a bull in a china shop sort of thing.
He puts his foot in.
Yeah, and I've got nothing against Bo, but he certainly didn't play well.
I mean, this is where I go on about... In past weeks, I've gone about substitutions from Nathan Jones, because this week I feel he nailed each sub that he made.
Yeah.
And, McLean for Bojan was the right sub at the right time. It was evident that Bojan wasn't really having an impact. And it's not that I don't believe he shouldn't play again. I actually think if we stuck with the same starting 11, it'd be a good thing, because Bojan did that. Even though I don't think he was great, I thought there was promise. There were a few moments when he had 1-2s and I thought things would work, but they didn't. But
Yeah.
I think giving more game time, it might come off. But just going back to the point about the subs, I thought when McLean came on, he actually stabilised that left side. He just made it a more orthodox shape.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to remember the final sub, because that was Adam for Etebo, and that was injury enforced, I will admit. But still, I thought Adam had a good part to play when he came on. And I just thought there wasn't a silly sub. For me, Williams last week was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I've heard people defend it, saying, well, you still got a midfielder, and I think it doesn't make sense. It's not the right sub. I
mean,
don't care if you say it.
You said to me at the match, why did they bring Williams on as a sub last week, but bring Ryan in for start the match?
Now, I'll agree, I did say that, and what I actually find interesting is Ryan and Bart made a very good centre-half partnership, I found. So it was definitely worth putting Ryan in.
Yeah.
And I remember saying as well at the time, was it a case that Ryan trained well in the week and they wanted to reward him?
Yeah.
Or was it a case of maybe Ashley is better to bring on as a sub?
Yeah.
So there were possibilities, but still, it did confuse me a little bit at the moment because it was like, okay. But yeah.
Well, I know I'm going to open a can of worms now. Edwards. People have been saying, man of the match, and we played brilliantly, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I never took my eyes off him. But he just didn't play at his best.
I mean, we're in agreement on this because I had a look earlier and I found out he was in the EFL Team of the Week. And I'm actually a bit baffled at that because the thing is, I like Tom. I love any local player, so let's just start that off because I don't want it to be criticising for criticising's sake. But I just watched him, especially in the first half, and he looked quite lost. It's as if he was going forward when he didn't need to go forward. He was losing the ball in silly areas, and when he was
right in front of us.
Yeah, and then defensively, he was getting caught inside and forcing Tom Ince to defend. Now, I know you might say, well, Ince should defend, blah, 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 but the way I see it as well is that, if Edwards had been a little bit wider, not tucking in as much, he would have actually been in a better position.
Yeah.
So...
But I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've actually seen something we haven't, please let us know, because I don't really want to go hard on Tom Edwards.
No.
So if you can actually say, well, hang on, you must have missed this, or you mustn't have seen this, let us know, because, we're not trying to be harsh on the players, but that is just what we saw. And when we heard all this praise for him afterwards, we've both been a bit surprised. Because I think out of the back four, he was the only one who didn't play a good game.
Yeah. I agree with you, Josh. I just don't know what we missed.
Yeah.
I know in the second half he picked up, but first half, no. As I say, he was right in front of us. We couldn't have missed it if it had been sitting, I was sitting on his knee virtually. So I know I didn't miss anything.
But the weird thing is, we've heard that much praise for him that I don't know about you, but I can't help but think we must have missed something just for the fact that, two versus how many can't be right.
No.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just thinking, that second half when he was on the other side and we just missed it. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's just strange. I mean, for us it's strange, but, it does happen.
Right, now for the stats.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. They've won QPR, they've won 12, drawn 6 and lost 17. They're currently 18th in the league and we're 16th. The top scorer is, wait for it, Narky Wells.
Oh, yeah, Narky.
Yeah, and he's on 8 goals. Now, Benny Kafobi, yes, is on 9 goals. He's going up the ladder a little bit. Right, yellow cards, 68. 68!
I think you keep forgetting each week that we're going further into the season, so the numbers are probably going to go up a bit.
I know, but I think it's a lot.
Well, I'm going to say it's
they
probably...
got 4 of them in the home game. Our own, with us.
Well, that I didn't know. That is interesting.
That's why I do a stats.
Yeah, I'll admit, I didn't realise there were that many in that game.
But, there were 6 in one game. I wish I'd have written it down, but
yeah,
I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I didn't think anybody'd be interested. So, but anyway, they were the stats. And we can just get on now to the preview.
Well, you were just touching on it, and I wanted to discuss this in the Forest review, but Benicophobia on 9. I'm actually quite surprised at that, because I'm glad he took his goal the other day, because I feel like this Stoke team just hasn't played to his strengths. He's got a build that reminds me of a big surly target man, but really he's more of a Michael Owen, Jermaine Defoe, keep it short, 6-yard poacher. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. I'd rather him in the penalty box than actually being outside it.
I don't actually see him, his stature, as a striker.
No.
No.
Where do you see him then?
I see him a midfielder.
No, you see, that's just something I don't, for the simple fact he's not got a good touch. So, if you're talking about the physical build. Yeah, but then again, though, you could have Ryan Shawcross as a striker if you're going to do that. He is a big, tall man.
But he doesn't look interested, does he? Do you know what I mean? He's very blasé, isn't he?
Maybe there's a bit of Cameron Jones about him. Maybe he's up for some games, he isn't for all.
Yeah.
But I'm not too down about him at the moment, because I think what he did against Forest, he did all right. He wasn't really I didn't feel he was man of the match. When that award came out, I wasn't disagreeing with it because he got his goal and he took it well. But for me, I think Bruno Martins Indi was man of the match, and that's before he went off, Etebo probably would have won it for 2 weeks on the trot for me. But no, I thought Bruno was across the 90 minutes the strongest.
I thought he was played really well on Saturday.
Yeah, but I mean that's not taken away from a foe, because I was saying it when we came out the ground. I think Bennick's the sort of player that, to get man of the match in my eyes, you'd have to score 2. And that's and have a few chances that maybe he was a bit unlucky with. And I think the only way you can get that is if he's got good service coming into him, which he hasn't really. So it's one of those where I think once he's in a better team, or a team built for him, he'll thrive more, but we haven't built the team around him.
No. But all in all, I thought they played well. But going on to QPR, I mean, if there's anybody listening from QPR, I'm very sorry for what I'm going to say, but I don't know anything about you as such. They're not a team that I followed or thought, I'll read up on this team. I'm so sorry, but I just haven't.
I mean, the most prominent time I remember QPR was under both Neil Warnock and Harry Redknapp. And they were for different reasons, I mean, Neil Warnock, am I saying his surname wrong? Warnock. I felt like I was overdoing it. I remember that team because it was very much like what I see Stoke's team as a bunch of grafters, hard workers, or at least what I aspire a Stoke team to be. And, it was pretty unlucky that you got the sack from QPR when he did. And then 2 managers on, you got Harry Redknapp in, and I didn't admire them as such for what he did with them, because I think, Harry splashes the cash whatever club he goes to, so it was more a case of they were like an interesting project in football. You were sort of looking at them going, all right, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, it did get them promoted, if I remember right, but it came at the cost, as most things with Harry does. I'm sure the QPR fans aren't particularly happy about that spell in the club's history, but besides that, I haven't really kept my eye on them the last couple of years. There are a few players who I know. Naki Wells is one of them. Tomer Ahmed from Brighton. I probably mentioned these in the first video, to be fair. But I'm surprised that they're below us in the table. I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember just about the time we played them last time, they were on a good run.
Yeah.
And I can only assume they've had a dip recently, because, I saw they beat Leeds the other day, and that surprised me because I'd seen the dip, but I thought they must really have come up and started performing again. But I don't know, maybe it was just a one-off against Leeds. I mean, I'm hoping it is, because it means we'll have a better chance, but it's interesting just to see. I mean, Mum's just scrolling through a notepad now, trying to find stats. She's just signalling to me, around, keep going. Keep
Keep talking, boy, keep talking.
Yeah, there's a point when even I'm running out of breath trying to find it, but...
Must have been before that.
We do keep a note, you see, this is the thing, and she's trying to go back to about December now, try and find out what we said.
When did we play him?
It was December time.
Oh, was it?
2-2 draw. Can I just say, how many QPR fans...
I got it.
Any QPR fans had Angel Rangel down for a brace that day? You deserve any betting money you got.
Right, when they played us at home, they were in 10th.
So
and
they've
we
had-
were in 14th.
So they've had a dip.
Yeah. And their top scorer then, was, is it Ezzy? E-Z-E.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on 3. Freeman on 3, and was Zolek.
Yeah, let's not go for that one. I mean,
He was on 3, so they hadn't really got a top scorer then.
so they've actually come along a bit with the goals, but
Yeah.
maybe they've let a few more in by doing that.
Yeah. So, and Aerophobia at the time was on 4, and Ince was on 3.
I mean, just going sort of comparing the two, I remember Easy at the time because he was doing quite well. I don't know if he's dipped now, if he's got injured, but I do think that might be a part to play just for the fact that, you know, I remember him just in passing, you know, I saw his name a lot and I thought, all right, he must be, you know, leading the charge, as it were, and if he's tailed off, that can only be the explanation, really. I mean, unless there is something that we can't see, you know, maybe more goals are being conceded or, you know, there's been an injury in defence. I just can't guess otherwise, but...
I mean, I'm a bit like you. I thought they were higher in the table than us.
Well, if anything, with Steve McLaren in charge, as I said last time, I haven't got much love for
Say
him.
no more.
And, you know, I thought they'd be lower anyway. So
Yeah.
when they were doing well at Christmas time, I thought, ooh, you know, that's a surprise. So this is probably where I thought they'd be anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
I hope they don't go down.
They've had trouble, so I don't particularly want that for them. You know, I don't like any club having too big a financial problem.
Yeah.
You know, I think relegation to League One would hurt them. But equally, you know, you think to yourself, they've got a fight on their hands by the looks of it. 20th place, did you say? 18th?
18th.
18th, yeah, so...
And I certainly don't want Ipswich to go down.
I mean, just looking at the table, we've got a snippet here, and they're on 42. Millwall are in 20th on 34, so that's, you know, just a couple of places above.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be. They should be safe, QPR, but you know, if they don't keep picking up results, you never know. Maybe the team in 21st, who I'm guessing is one of. Actually, I'm trying to work it out now. Rotherham, maybe, or I think it'd be Rotherham, Ipswich, and Reading down there.
Yeah.
So if one of them just suddenly picks up, you never know. But it'd have to be one hell of a drop, really. So I think QPR will be safe just looking at these numbers, but you never know.
Well, as a prediction, I've put that Stoke will win 1-0.
Okay, you've gone for your prediction. I don't really know for myself, because thing is, we've not done back-to-back results this season. At least if we have, it's that long since we've done it that I've forgotten it. So my gut tells me to go for a 1-1. I think, you know, we might take the lead, we'll get confident, thinking, oh, you know, we're on for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. And then in similar fashion to Ipswich, I think we'll have a 91st minute equaliser go against us, and it's back to maybe not square one, but square 1.5.
Yeah.
You know.
If we hadn't about my new puppy Dotty, everybody, I would have gone to QPR.
Yeah, I'll admit this is half the reason the vlog's been released so late on Tuesday, because we've been quite distracted since we got her. So yeah, I'm working overtime trying to get the videos out right now. But
Can I just mention Gordon?
oh, of course, yeah.
This will be my last thing on Gordon. I did actually get picked out of that for that ballot to go to the church on Monday for the funeral. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, and I wanted to, but just circumstances didn't let me. But what a beautiful service it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Stoke-on-Trent, Dick Gordon, so proud. And, I mean, it was heartwarming, the service was. And that black vicar, I mean, he just set the scene. And I can imagine Gordon lying in his coffin, and saying, thank God there's a bit of laughing going on. You know, so it was very poignant, and it was really, really a good send-off to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I know what you're talking about with that vicar. He was very funny. I mean, I thought Jeff Hurst played a bit of humour as well. I thought he tried to liven things up, and I think the only one who sort of maybe just did a eulogy by numbers, I know that's a bit weird to say, but it was Peter Coates. I thought his was just a little bit too by the book, you know.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wrote that for him, whether it was himself or whoever, they want to learn how to write speeches.
Yeah, it wasn't...
Because it was not very good at all.
Yeah, I'm not digging him out for that. You know, if maybe he just wanted to do something on behalf of, you know, the club and himself or whatever, but yeah, it was just a bit dry. At least when you see what else followed and it was more personal and, you know, there were maybe certain anecdotes, you know, I think it wouldn't have hurt if he could have at least shared something personal about himself and Gordon, but I don't know, maybe he just felt he wanted to be more professional. I don't know.
And of course, Ursula, that lady sat there for that length of time in a wheelchair, and she never flinched or anything, and you know, I've just got to praise her for keeping it together.
Oh, I think...
Because I didn't.
I think the whole Banks family need praise, because it mustn't be easy having a funeral broadcast like that.
No.
So, just for the family in general, just for being brave and strong, whatever word or euphemism you want to describe, thank you very much for letting us into this very private moment. So,
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Wendy... but you know, his daughter, that was a beautiful speech about her father.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were all beautiful, but I agree with that as well.
Yeah. Anyway, folks,
that is a wrap for this week. We'll be back next week, maybe on the Tuesday, but hang on, saying that, it won't be the Tuesday because we've got the Derby County game midweek, if I remember right. So
that means I've got to do 2 next week.
Yay! So we'll be back for the Derby County one on Sunday, I believe it'll be, so keep an eye out for that, and thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, folks, and do comment.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, otherwise I'll see you in the next video.
Have a good week, folks. Bye.
Bye for now, everyone.